There was this guy, right? His name was Johannes Peter Mueller. He lived in Germany around 1801, and his dad was actually a shoemaker. Mueller was about to be a saddler's apprentice himself, but then his teacher said, we ain't gonna have that. Be a priest." So he was a priest. He studied classics until he turned 18. Then he came to love natural science. He went to the University of Bonn. Hey, bro, I'm pretty sure that's the wrong person. Before that space guy, Galileo, you right. So, my bad. There was still a German guy named Johannes Mueller, but he was born in 1436. His last name was Königsberg, and he didn't like his name. So, he went by a lot of other Roman names. He had this really weird thing for romantic names. Not the kissy stuff, but the stuff that came from Rome. There was Johannes Francus, Johannes Germanus, Johannes everything. We're gonna call him Regiomontanus. Trust me, it makes sense. So, Königsberg was actually where he was born, and where he became a mathematical and astrological prodigy at a really young age. He was homeschooled until 11, when he attended the University of Leipzig from 1447 to 1450, kind of like Anne Farm on steroids. Then he went to the University of Vienna later that year in April in 1450 and became a pupil of Purbach, another guy interested in astronomy and something about triangles and economics. No, J.E., it's trigonometry, math. Whatever, they ain't ready for that. Anyway, 2 years later, they awarded Regiomontanus a bachelor's degree on January 16th, but since he was like 16, he had to wait 5 years until he could get a master's degree, since 21 was the age you had to be to get that degree. But don't worry, he eventually got it in 1457. Later that year, in November, he collaborated with Purbach. With him, he learned how inaccurate Ptolemy's Alphonsine tables were. Those tables were basically a book predicting lunar eclipses and predicting where planets like Mars were positioned in the sky. I mean, space could be CGI for all we know. Bro, shut up. No, you're done. You know what? You're done. But no, stop. Oh, sorry. So Regiomontanus actually did some other stuff too. He gave classes to students studying at Vienna, made some tools for his field of work like astrolabels, and made copies of old manuscripts for his personal use, since he was into that kind of thing. I told you it was interesting. Anyway, so backtrack to 1450. This guy named George of Trebizond translated and commented on Theon's of Alexandria to you, sir commentary on Ptolemy's Almagest. Now, remember, Ptolemy is the same guy that screwed up the center of the universe, so imagine what the comment was. He ended up angering the church, and especially this guy named Bessarion. Cardinal Johannes Bessarion to you, sir. Didn't I tell you you're done? Jeez. So, then in 1460, when Bessarion arrived in Vienna, he asked Purbach to make a shorter version of the Almagest to have a more understandable version and to give support to Theon. Of Alexandria. So, Purbach took on that task. But he ended up being on his deathbed a year later, so he asked Regiomontanus to finish it. It was called the Epitome of Almagest. He also started to think about the defense of Theon against George of Trebizond around that time, too. So, he did a lot of other stuff in his life, but most importantly, thanks to the inaccuracy of those tables I mentioned earlier, the Alphonsine tables, he found that everything doesn't revolve around the Earth. What? I thought everything did. Exit. What? Make your exit. You're done. Oh, okay. He wrote works dealing with trigonometry so he could support the astronomical aspect of what he revised in the Epitome of Almagest. With this, he started the theory that we revolve around the sun, not the other way around. Although he did go against the cardinal in doing this. So, later on, he said that he was going to publish something saying that George of Trebizond's works were useless. So they say that George's two sons killed Regiomontanus in 1476. Dun, dun, dun. But he probably died of an outbreak of a plague. Either way, it's an unfortunate end. So, after all that, others came after him who eventually debunked the theory that everything revolved around the earth and found out that everything revolved around the sun. Are you sure? Why haven't you exited yet? KG's, I'm gone. One of the guys was Copernicus, but that's a completely different story. Hope you guys enjoyed this, because it took a really long time to make. I'm not gonna lie.